Good afternoon, ladies and gents. It's a privilege to be once again standing here in Kalgoorlie presenting at Diggers and Dealers. So thanks very much for attending and everyone online as well. I feel privileged also to be able to, after a year, being able to give you an update where the company's going. And I would like to also to bring you back to a few presentations ago from IGO. That setting that Ivan was presenting is fantastic. I will ask you to have a look at that again because we concur with everything that has been mentioned before regarding lithium. The lithium market, yes, it is a bit choppy, it is a bit volatile. It is down to its knees currently. However, markets go up and down, and in the history of Galan, we've seen this 3 times. So what's it going to give? Price. And I will give you a bit more about that in my presentation. Now, what you can see behind me, it's last year, a year ago exactly, we announced that we have the permits for construction for phase 1. So phase 1 for us is a small step in terms of production. It's 5,400 tons of lithium carbonate equivalent, and we start the construction of phase 1 that you can see behind me. Importantly, that gave us the footing to start talking to companies that could be interested in lithium chloride concentrate. Furthermore, the government believed in our thesis and start providing permits not only for construction, but I can also mention that on last Friday, we got the permits for commercialization of our lithium chloride. So in other words, we have full run to sell concentrate. Once the phase 2 permits get granted, that is going to be by the end of the year. So this is quite something for us. It's 3,000 tons of lithium carbonate equivalent in inventory and growing. So that picture tells a lot about Galan, and with that, I will go into the disclaimers and explain a bit more about Galan. You know, now that I put you in the context of lithium, that yes, it is choppy, it hurts, you know, we all lost money, but it's coming back. And why? Because market do that, and there will be at some point a significant demand of lithium that it's all coming. You know, we've been to China, we've seen the changes, and we are in discussions for selling our concentrate. And what I can tell you is that within these discussions, we've seen that a significant numbers of these converters, they are expanding. So when you look at how is the setting for the largest lithium converter and producer of lithium products for batteries, and they are expanding, price is going to give at some point in time. So I'll bring you back to Galan. It's a very rare opportunity because we are very close to get funding, which is the elephant in the room for us. Funding is coming to complete the project of phase 1. Once we're in production, we expect to be in production in the second half of next year. We're going to start getting cash flow. And we expect the market to be turning around. However, if that doesn't necessarily happen, we are a very competitive solution because our cost structure is one of the best in the world. Now, the scale of Galan is not small. We have 8.6 million tons, and we have 2 DFS, and we only using 10% of that resource into reserves. Our project has got a mine life of 40 years. And with flat costing, because we are not mining, we're just pumping and evaporating. So it's a very low energy intensive solution. And therefore, we produce a low CO2. I mentioned that we have 3,000 tons in inventory. And there is a disconnection, of course, there is a disconnection today in lithium. We have a valuation through our studies that is fantastic multiples of what the current market cap of the company is. But here's the value proposition. Look where we are now, look where the market will be when they change, and we'll be in production. So this is the main theme of Galan. Low-cost producer, future low-cost producer, we are definitely undervalued. We're going to get sales contract, we're going to get the funding coming up to finalize our phase 1 project. Now, in terms of the structure and the market cap, that answer, it's something that we're on the same boat. But we have very loyal shareholders, and the board is very exposed as well. myself included, to fully help and fund the best we can Galan, and Galan is going to be a producer in next year. Now we have Richard Homsani, which is our chairman. He's also in uranium. We got Daniel Jimenez, ex-SQM, a person that will shine through his colors in the next few months when you start seeing the news flows that we're going to have. We have Terry Gardner from Perth. Unfortunately, Terry's not here today. And we got Claudia, based in Chile, that is a very technical person that is very good at guiding us where we need to go. And now, the main thing, and this is about lithium brine, that it doesn't get talked too much. 7 years ago, everyone was running to put money in Argentina for lithium brine. Now, what we're doing is using what Australia is doing, which is producing lithium spodumene concentrate that is a 6%. We're producing lithium chloride concentrate that, if there was an equivalence, or the equivalence is actually 12.9% lithium oxide equivalent. Now, we have a product that is, in other words, the best concentrate in the world, with low impurities and low cost of production. And today, the interest that we're getting from Asia is fantastic, not only because we have a product with high grade. It's low impurities, but this product, with just polishing, can go into an LFP battery. It can be polished to be lithium metal, one step, same with the one before. Or simply produce lithium carbonate. So the number of steps that we have to do to get there, they are low. And as a reflection of that is a low cost opportunity. So I'll leave you with that, with all those steps. And also that reflects in cost. What you see is the cost curve, and where Galan sits in terms of the cost curve. You see in the first quartile of the cost curve. And this number has not been optimized. We've seen, since we've done the DFS, that we can definitely optimize this number in terms of the operating cost. And to the right, you can see also the Galan CO2 emissions. And that is driven mainly because the sun does the job for us. Where are we located? We are located at the Hombre Muerto salt flat in Argentina, next to Arcadium. Arcadium started with the Phoenix plant producing lithium more than 30 years ago. The lithium revolution, the Sony Handycam, I'll bring you back to memory lane, started there. Those lithium-ion batteries, Panasonic batteries, actually started at Hombre Muerto. So we're not reinventing the wheel in terms of a new product. Now, where are we in terms of the project advance? We are 40% in, and we have more than 3,000 tons of lithium content in our inventory, and that's growing. We're going to get the northern part of the project into the pond, so therefore our inventory will grow. We'll expect to be in production next year, as I mentioned. That's our phase one. And phase one is not a 20,000 tons operation as most of the companies go into. We started small. We want to walk before we run, and then we want to grow into phase two. Permits for phase two, as mentioned early on, they're coming up. And we have given already the construction approval, environmental approval, and commercialization agreement from the government. I came from Argentina on Sunday. Friday, I signed the commercialization agreement. It's no longer an MOU. So in a context of where's the growth? So I mentioned that we started small, and then we're moving into phase two, which is close to 21,000 tons of lithium carbonate equivalent in lithium chloride content. We have phase 3 and 4. We have a future to grow. We want to get the first step right, and then we'll go ahead into the next steps. So what we have, it's something very simple. We are producing lithium chloride concentrate. In other words, we are doing what Australia is doing, what Pilbara Mineral is fantastically doing, by the way, producing concentrate and send that to China for processing. We're doing exactly the same thing. We got now the okay from the government. We're going to get further approvals by the end of the year, and we're going to get the funding and the sales agreement that is coming with that. So look at what we're proposing, where we're at in terms of our market cap, and where we're going to go. And once we get our first steps, this is going to feel, like I mentioned, like a penguin that jumps. Everyone else will jump behind. Galan has a large future, but we want to get things right. We want to get to phase one done and be in production as soon as we can. And regarding Argentina, Argentina has changed. There's a new federal president, but importantly for us, the permits that we get in at the province levels are fantastic. We've been in discussions with the governor of Catamarca, my minister of Catamarca, and the question from them to us is, what can we do to help you? Because everyone is on the same back, by the way. Everyone is feeling that lithium is not doing well, but they've been proactive and they've been helping us. Probably is the best reaction that I've seen in all the time in Catamarca. The guys are now talking to us and asking what can we do, what can they do to help us. So it's a supportive place for investment. We have very good relationships with the community. I mentioned the government, even the unions. The unions, we have to slow down our expenditure. Even the unions came and said, look guys, we understand. So that's a reflection of the team that we have on the ground in Catamarca, the relationships that we have, and behind Galan as well, we have a very technical team that can produce lithium chloride concentrate that we've already been doing for close to 2 years at the plant level at site. And lastly, I'll bring you to WA, because we are here in Kalgoorlie. We are next door to the Greenbushes mine, and what have we done so far? Yes, it's been a bit slower than we expected, but we expect to go and drill in the first half of next year. We got now the clearance to go and drill. We have an area that we want to drill now. We drill an area that was available. A farmer told us, look, you can go and drill, and that's what we've done. Now we want to drill the target area that is right at the fault line where the Greenbushes mine runs. Early days, yes, but we all hear exploration is all about taking risk, and here we are. So keep an eye on what we're doing at Greenbushes. It could be a game changer too. So the timeline of things, to recap. So we are finalizing the offtake and financing, so money's going to come. We're going to retake things. We already secured the sales agreement with the Catamarca government. We're going to get the permits for phase 2 by the end of the year. The pond construction should be finalized by early next year. We fully finalized, and in the first half of next year, phase 1 production, and phase 1 production itself will start on the second half of 25. So to summarize where we're at, once again, we are nearly, in terms of our advance, we're close to be a producer. A year it's going to fly. We already have an inventory, and by the way, that inventory can hold 10,000 tons. So we still got a way to go to in our inventory to keep growing it. The scale of Hombre Muerto is not small. It's the highest grade, lowest impurities in Argentina, and that will count a lot once we start growing. We have a growth path up to 60,000 tons. I mentioned the inventory. We have seen today that everything that we managed to put into the DFS is been ticking boxes so far. And I think that's a reflection of the quality of the engineers and the people that we have. There's a significant contingent at Galan from SQM, and that makes a big difference. We have people with experience in the ground, in brines, so this is nothing new. And we're doing something simple, concentrate. So ticking boxes, everything is working the way we plan. Funding is coming, so with that, I will leave and finish my presentation, and thanks very much.